Alright, y'all, let's have a little powwow about phones, obviously, because that's what my whole group's been doing. But I want to do something that not everyone has done, because I feel like we've talked a lot about the effects that are directly from cell phones, but I want to talk about something that's a little off-centered. Not a lot, but it's the effects of sleep deprivation. Because picture this. So you have a long, stressful day, right? You get home, you're going to bed, you're just exhausted, and yet you're like, you know what? I want to see what the family's doing. So you scroll through social media, and you're just looking, and you're like, oh, hey, that's cool, or man, wish I was doing that. Man, wish I was not in this snow. Pretty soon, it's like 2 hours later, right? Or you're like, hey, I want to watch an episode of my favorite TV show because I'm tired. And, that whole wonderful little next episode starts in 10, 15 seconds, 20, whatever it is. And suddenly you're like, oh, I can watch another one. And it's like, 4 hours later? Well, there's this lovely thing called circadian rhythms. And they're what set your light-dark schedule for your day. So what happens is as light enters your eye, it hits the retinal ganglion cells, and they send a signal to the suprachiasmatic nucleus in your brain, or the SCN. And this is what tells your body, hey, it's daytime, let's get going, metabolism, start kicking up, let's get energy. But as light goes away, suddenly it's like, let's take a relax, let's chill, let's go to bed. Well, as you're sitting on your phone, as you're looking at these lights, suddenly your brain's like, wait a minute, I was tired and it was dark, but now there's light, so I guess the sun's up, let's go to bed. Let's wake up. And, this whole light-dark cycle is thrown off. So, this causes a lot of issues, obviously. In today's world, because of technology, because of cell phones, because of electricity, we have this thing that scientists are starting to call the 24-hour society. Whereas before, our ancestors were like, oh, you know what, it's dark, I can light a candle, but how much light does a candle give you? A foot radius? Okay, probably more than that. But of good light. Whereas with electricity, you can have a whole room lit up, you can have a whole building lit up. You can stay up all night, there's night shifts. There's people that binge watch Netflix until all hours of the night. I've done it, everyone's probably done it. And this whole thing makes it so that your brain isn't able to have a good cycle. And this starts up what scientists are starting to call as social jet lag. It has same effects as regular jet lag, where you're just tired, you feel out of sync with time and with your schedule. And it mostly happens when you have a different schedule for your weekday and your weekend. So if during the weekdays you're going to bed at say 9 and you're waking up at, 7, sure? Because you have classes or whatever, but in the weekends you're going to bed later, you're waking up later, this causes social jet lag. Or if some days you go to bed early, but then you pull out your phone, social jet lag. Now, this whole thing is great and all, and everyone's like, oh, being tired, it's not that bad, it just missed a little bit of sleep, I was just on my phone for a few hours, everyone does it. Well, actually, it's not that good for you. You have all these mental effects, your cognitive performance is weakened. You have this inability to focus. You're sitting here and you're just like, man, I'm so tired. My brain feels like mush. I feel like I'm walking through quicksand every time I try and have some kind of intellectual thought. And really, it's just because your brain needs to recharge and it needs to get back on its cycle. It needs to get out of this social jet lag. And your brain is popcorn, you can't think, and your short-term memory is actually damaged. Your auditory system is damaged, your visual system is damaged, you can't remember seeing things as well, you can't remember hearing things as well. So is it that surprising that you're suddenly not doing that well in your classes when you're not sleeping great, or when you're on your phone all the time? So not only is your mental abilities ruined, but your emotional abilities are ruined. Because, at first you're like, oh, I'm just tired, it's fine. It's just a little bit of sleep loss, maybe I wasn't able to pay attention in class, I'm just not doing great today. Sure, whatever. But after a week or 2 weeks of this whole inability of having a great cycle, you start developing a lot of times your high spirits fall and you can really develop depression and anxiety. In fact, in a study that was done in University of Ottawa, they found that delayed and disorganized circadian rhythms may be linked to the worst psychiatric profiles in young people with depressive disorders. So it's not just like a tiny problem. It's a very big issue that a lot of people aren't addressing. And so I think that we all just need to put away our phones at a decent time to stop this issue. And to maybe say, hey, maybe not do Netflix at, 11 o'clock at night. And we just need to be able to say, you know what, it's time for bed, let's set a regular schedule and our circadian rhythms will be just fine.